Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person, and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Reverend Kate Wilkinson, and I am so glad that you are here this morning. Welcome to those of you in the room, and welcome also to those of you joining us via our live stream. This morning, I am delighted to welcome to our pulpit my friend, David Wilson. Welcome, David. Following a 30-year career with Verizon Communications, David has served on the board of the Provincetown Theater, the Human Rights Campaign, Mass Equality, and GLAAD. He also serves on the Juneteenth Planning Committee. What an amazing Juneteenth event we just had, and I am so happy to see so many of our other co-conspirators from that committee here this morning. And also a special welcome to David's family who are here. Now, yes, welcome. One more little tidbit about David. Even though I didn't officially meet him until we were both living here in Provincetown, I came in 2012, I actually crashed his wedding in Boston in 2004. Allow me to explain. David and his husband, Rob, were plaintiffs in the Goodrich versus Massachusetts Department of Public Health lawsuit to legalize gay marriage in Massachusetts. When that suit was won, David and Rob were married on the very first day that marriage was legal, May 17th, 2004, which happened to also be the 50th anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education, another historic lawsuit. They were married at Arlington Street Church, where I was a member at the time, and word went out that they wouldn't mind if some church folk came and watched the ceremony, so I planned my lunch hour carefully that day to witness part of history. So thank you so much, David and Rob, for allowing me to crash your wedding, and thank you so much, David, for sharing your message with us today. Before we go on with our service, I have just a few announcements to share. Our guest musician this morning is going to be D'Angelo Nieves, and we need your Provincetown magic prayers at the moment because his guitar is broken. And he is out there sourcing a backup guitar from someone in town, and I know that this kind of thing happens in Provincetown, so we just know that he is going to come running in at some point during the service with a guitar, and we are going to cheer. So when he gets here, welcome D'Angelo. And there's going to be one more surprise musical guest a little later on that I'm very excited about, but I'm going to let David introduce him. But let me just say, there are still a few tickets left to the Juneteenth Cabaret this evening at the Gifford House, and this amazing guest musician is going to be the featured performer there. So if you don't have plans tonight, please head up to the Gifford House. And before that, you can do both. Tonight at 5 o'clock, great music on Sundays at 5 kicks off the season with a benefit show for our favorite local radio station, WOMR. Yes, this concert's going to be performed as a live radio show, taking us back in time to the 1950s. So many great vocalists and on-stage sound effects by Sam Sewell, who became famous among us for performing that 18-wheeler song at our Talent, No Talent show. So please come back at 5 o'clock for this studio audience experience. On the stage downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall, there is a display of artwork made by the students at the Provincetown IB School for Juneteenth. So I hope during coffee hour you check out their amazing artwork. Also at coffee hour today, we hope you'll stop by our UUMH action table. Each week during coffee hour, we are offering an action that you can take to support our Unitarian Universalist values in the world. This might be by writing a thank you note or signing a petition, making a donation, or calling a senator. Just one thing we can do a week to make us feel less hopeless and more powerful. Now, this morning's action is going to have to shift a little because during the week we had prepared an action table all about calling your senators to tell them that we do not want to go to war with Iran. And as many of you know, last night that happened. So we're going to have to shift the script that you will find down there, but we still ask you to please call your senators if you're worried about engaging in this and tell them how you feel. We need to make our voices heard. And thank you, Lisa, for preparing today's action. Finally, if you are here in person today, we hope you will stick around a little while after the service ends for coffee and conversation downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall. Let's take a moment now to affirm our community's covenant. You can find this on the little purple laminated cards in your pews, or you can just listen line by line as I say it. I invite you to repeat each line after me. Love is the spirit of this meeting house.
Love is the spirit of this meeting house.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another. Now, as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you who are watching from home to light a candle wherever you are. In this way, we can feel connected even while we are apart. And this morning, I invite Ingina to light our chalice for us as I read these words by my colleague, Reverend Karen Johnston. Do not be alone right now. Gather together. Gathering together grows courage in ourselves and in others who see the numbers swelling. It's a small thing, but right now it's an important thing. Great sources of wisdom remind us just because you cannot stem the tide of all hate, it is still right to do the one small thing you can do. These things add up. Your one thing and my one thing, his one thing and their one thing and her one thing, together it becomes a big thing. Do not be alone right now. Any liberation, all liberation is collective liberation. My freedom is bound with yours and yours with mine inextricably. Let us together cast our lots doing this big thing, bending the moral arc of the universe toward justice. Thank you. I invite you now to join me in singing our opening hymn. You can find this one in the teal hymnal. It's number 1017, Building a New Way. That's number 1017 in the teal hymnals, Building a New Way. Please rise as you are able.
A
feed. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. You may be seated. I invite you now into a time of meditation and prayer. During this time or at any time during the service, you are welcome to light a candle at the table at the right of the pulpit, where there is a journal to record your thoughts and prayers. After our prayer, we will sing together Spirit of Life, hymn number 123 in the gray hymnals, which is also printed on those same purple laminated cards in your pews. We'll sing first in English and then in Spanish. Our prayer this morning is by my friend and colleague at the Barnstable UU Church, Reverend Dr. Kristen Harper. I do not wish to breathe another breath if it is not shared with others. The breath of life is not mine alone. I brought myself to be with you, hoping that by inhaling the compassion, the courage, the hope found here, I can exhale the fear, the selfishness, the separateness I keep so close to my skin. I cannot live another moment, at least not one of joy, unless you and I find our oneness somewhere among each other, somewhere between the noise, somewhere within the silence of the next breath. Let us breathe now together in silence and feel our oneness. Amen. Our reading this morning is by Reverend Robin Tanner, and she begins with a quote by June Jordan. "And who will join this standing up? And the ones who stood without sweet company will sing and sing back into the mountains, and if necessary, even under the sea. We are the ones we have been waiting for." We are gathered at a Walmart in downtown El Paso, Robin says, 46 days after the August shooting that killed 23 people. We are waiting for the march to begin. Immediately, I begin to focus in on the details. Bullhorns in place, march guides ready to direct the dispersal of signs. I am anxious, and counting details calms me. Everything is in place, so of course I begin to doubt the turnout. It's a well-loved ritual of mine to become nervous about turnout. It happens every Sunday morning when, approximately 19 minutes before the service begins, I whisper to one of my colleagues, "No one is coming." To which they invariably reply, "Someone is already here." We begin marching down the streets of El Paso beside the Franklin Mountains. Street vendors wave pairs of sneakers as a single counter-protester musters an incoherent retort. I start glancing through the windows of buildings on high alert in the wake of the shooting. Turnout must be lower because of the fear, I say to myself. Then I notice her. She's about 6 years old, holding the hand of a relative with a serious and committed look on her face. I feel a hot rush of embarrassment. How can I wonder about turnout, I think? For a quarter mile, I've been walking beside a child whose family brought her onto a street in a city reeling from a devastating act. I overhear her mother speaking in Spanish, teaching her the chants. Oye, mi gente, traemos la fuerza. Oye, mi gente, traemos la fuerza. Listen, my people, we bring strength. Listen, my people, we bring strength. We are never numbers to be tallied for turnout. We are more than a sum. Together we are the hope and the courage. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Won't you please join me now in singing our next hymn? It's number 1015 in that same teal book, I Know I Can. That's number 1015, I Know I Can. Please rise as you are able. Sister in my heart. In my heart, my brother in my song. No troubles wait at every turn. I know I can go on, though the journey is long. And though the journey is long. brothers, take my hand. So brothers, take my hand, and sisters, sing my song. When hope awaits at every turn, I know we will go on. Yes, nice one. You may be seated. Your prayers did not work. He could not get another guitar, and he apologizes. And Brenda is going to play the piano for our offertory, but she has a little minute to prepare. I did give her a heads up. Thank you, Brenda. I'm going to do our Time for All Ages while she picks a song. So much. All right, so this is for the kids in the room, but it's for all the adults too. Sometimes when we go to a protest or a vigil or a march, we are a little nervous at the start. We don't show up feeling courageous right away always. Now, maybe you have felt nervous before, if you ever had to speak in front of people, or if you've ever been in a play. I'll tell you a little secret. Sometimes I even still get nervous getting up in front of all of you. They're all looking at me. So I wanted to teach you a little something that might help you in those moments when you get nervous. And it's something that I heard my friend Robin say in the reading that I shared with you earlier. And that is, when I get anxious, I count details and it helps me. Did you hear her say that? Now, there is some brain science behind this. My congregation knows I love to talk about brain science, because it moves some of our feeling energy over to the thinking side. And our emotions like anxiety and nervousness live on the emotion side, and things like facts and numbers and counting live on the thinking side of our brain. So when we're feeling nervous, we don't want to give more energy to that tumultuous feeling of nervousness. We want to give our energy to the facts and the numbers and the things that we can count that will help calm us down. So let's try that. What are some things that we can count in the sanctuary? Let's see, how many aisles do we have in this church? 1, 2, 3. How many doors do we have in the sanctuary? 1, 2, 3. Trick question. 4. This is a good time to point out our emergency exit. There are 4 doors. How many windows? Let's count all these as one, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, how many people are in here? Just kidding. That would take forever. But you did a great job counting details, and that is something that you can do anytime. Anytime you're starting to feel anxious, call upon your thinking brain and let your feeling brain calm down a bit. So thank you to Robin, who gave us that idea this morning, and thank you to all of you for being such good, calm counters. Now is the time in our service where we take a collection for the ongoing support of this Meetinghouse and our shared ministry. As we enjoy a musical reflection by Brenda, yay! We welcome your donations here in the sanctuary or online through PayPal or Venmo. You can find that information on our website, uumh.org. or there are QR codes in the pews as well. At this point, I invite 3 volunteer ushers forward to take up our collection, and if one of you could just keep that with you until after the service and give it to me, that'd be great. On and off-site, your offerings will now be gratefully received.
Now, let me start by thanking Reverend Kate for inviting me today. When we chatted a couple weeks ago and a couple more times, we talked about the sermon, we talked about the service today, and I told Kate, my family is going to come down on Saturday, and before I could finish the sentence, Kate says, well, do you think they might want to come to the service? So I'm going to introduce them, but I want to get started first with just a welcome to all of you. This is a very safe space for all of us, and you've always been welcoming to everyone in our community. Some of us are here today because we want to celebrate Juneteenth. Some of us are here today because we have a very deep personal connection to living as an African American in this country. And some of us are here today as friends, allies, neighbors, and as I said just a few minutes ago, some of us are here today because they're part of my family. I'd like to introduce my son, Scott, my granddaughter, Kate, and grandson, Tom, our precious 3 great-grandchildren, Jack, Penny, and Millie, Grandma Sandy, who is often called by the grandkids Gigi, and of course, my husband, Rob. Could you stand, please? Scott told me maybe a few months ago that he remembers me singing in a choir and doing sermons in church when he was growing up. I could barely remember it, but it's coming back to me now. I also want to thank my chosen family, my Juneteenth family. Could you please stand? My Juneteenth family. I'm here today to share my personal journey. Just one black man's journey. But I hope you hear the voices of so many others, because my path is not mine alone. The story of so many black Americans struggling for freedom that has been promised but not yet delivered. This past Thursday, we celebrated Juneteenth, the day in 1865 when enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, were finally told on June 19th, 1865, by Union General Gordon Granger, all slaves are free. This involves absolute equality of personal rights and property. This was 2.5 years after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. That day, June 19th, matters. The words matter. But what matters just as much is what came afterwards. What did freedom look like afterwards? What did it cost? And most of all, who's still paying for it? My father was born in 1914, 50 years after so-called freedom was announced. He and his brothers were born on a white family's land in Washington, Pennsylvania. My grandparents worked 7 days a week in exchange for a place to live, some food, and a few clothes. No paycheck, no property, nothing to call their own. They were, in my words, indentured servants. So I ask myself, was my dad free? Pages are sticking together. My mother was born in 1916. She was one of 10 children. All of her siblings worked for white families. They lived in housing owned by white families. Her father, my grandfather, was the only police officer in the town they lived in. One dreadful day, he was shot to death while on duty. He left behind 10 children. The youngest was 2. My mother was 6. The case has never been solved. So I ask again, was my grandmother free? Were her children free? Was my mother free? On June 3rd, 1938, my parents married in Washington, Pennsylvania, and moved to Boston. Like so many others, they were looking for a better place to work, find a good job with a paycheck, benefits, vacations, and holidays. Instead, they found signs that said, "No blacks need apply." So they did what they could. They cleaned houses, cooked and served meals. They were the maid, the butler, and the bartender at cocktail parties, elegant dinners, for a few dollars paid in cash. So for almost 30 years, they worked as domestic laborers for white families west of Boston, often ashamed to talk with me about what they did. Then came the Civil Rights Acts of 1964 and 65. For the first time, my father, at age 51, walked into an engineering firm next to South Station in Boston and applied for a job. He got hired. He was assigned to clean elevators from 5 to 10 p.m. at night, but he loved it. He'd say to me, "David, you have to come down to my job and meet my coworkers so you can see how good of a job I'm doing." He was so proud of his work because for the first time he had a real job. My mother, I'm going to hold on her for a second because I want to say a little bit more about my dad. My dad received paychecks, and in the beginning he didn't want to cash them because he was so proud that he had, for the first time in his life, received a paycheck with paid holidays, vacation time, sick time, and he could contribute to Social Security. My mother, at age 49, applied for a job at the Christian Science Church in Boston. This was the same job she applied for in 1938, but this time she was hired. She was assigned to the mailroom, emptying and distributing bags of mail across the Christian Science platform. But she loved it. She also encouraged me to stop by and meet her new work friends. She was just so proud. This was the beginning of their legal freedom, but not their economic freedom. With no credit history, only paid in cash for 30 years, they never owned a thing. But now they could buy a car, which was their only real possession the rest of their life. They worked well into their 70s just to earn the quarters necessary to get Social Security. So they retired and lived in a senior complex, but it was subsidized housing. They passed away at 83 and 94. They left no inheritance, but they left me something greater. A mission to continue their hard work, honor their sacrifices, and be the best that I could be for my family. I was their only child. I'm now the only and oldest male in my immediate family, so I guess I'm an elder. Rob and I have a blended family of 5 adult children, 12 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. But I ask myself every day, is my family free? And I certainly ask myself the same question. Am I free? I'm asked as a regular basis when I roam the streets of Provincetown and when I go in and out of the building that I live in, do you live here? If so, where? Are you the dog walker? Do you work here in town? The questions are hard. But I do my best to be respectful because that's what my mother and father would want me to do. And it's also a reminder of the questions that they got in their senior complex 40 years ago. I worry about my family every day as they go to work, go to school, and just try to live their lives while being black. So I ask myself and I ask you, and I ask you to think with me as we answer this question: how free are any of us? So here we are on Juneteenth weekend. I'd like to propose something bold. Let's resolve and start and begin the abolitionist movement right here in Provincetown. Let's not just remember the history, but let's finish the work. Let's work to abolish the chains of racism, sexism, xenophobia, transphobia, ableism, ageism. Let's work together. You don't have to be black to celebrate Juneteenth. You only need to believe freedom is worth defending it for everyone. Juneteenth is Black history. Juneteenth is American history. Juneteenth is human history. When one of us moves closer to freedom, we all do. And I'd like to lift up Fannie Lee Hamer with just a few words that mean so much today. Nobody's free until everybody's free. Juneteenth is not just a memory, it's a mission. It's part of that mission that my parents left to me, but they didn't have the words. Let's speak the truth, even when it's hard. Let's challenge the isms, not just in law, but in our everyday behavior and attitudes and habits. Let's support artists, teachers, leaders, businesses, and our everyday neighbors. Freedom is not just a finish line. It's not just the holiday. It's not just a declaration. Freedom is a practice, a promise, a pathway forward. Juneteenth invites us to keep walking that path together. Can we do this work in the name of our ancestors, on whose shoulders we stand? Can we do this work for the families still caught in cycles of poverty, invisibility, and pain? Can we do this work for the children not yet born, so they won't have to ask, am I free? Instead, they'll be able to say with certainty, yes, I'm free. Thank you for letting me to share my story and allowing me to share this history with our community. Thank you for honoring the stories of so many that went before us but were not able to speak. Thank you for walking with me on this journey to be more free. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to invite James Jackson Jr. to join me. And if you could turn to page 149 in your hymnal. We're going to sing the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing. Coming up with me, James? It's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Thank you, James. Thank you, David. It has become our practice to pose a question based on the theme of the service each week. It can be the topic of sharing at coffee hour today or with friends during the week. If you'd like to delve deeper into this question, we invite you to join us at our Zoom coffee hour on Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock. Please contact the office if you need that link. Our question this week is, in this time when civil liberties seem to be going backwards, what does freedom feel like to you? In this time when civil liberties seem to be going backwards, what does freedom feel like to you? And I'll end with these closing words. Inspired by each other's journeys, may we find our own courage here, together, as we are reminded that none of us is free until all of us are free, and that we are the ones we have been waiting for. Go in peace.